bunch of YNs out there with their hoodies and their poo shiesty masks running around. They just running rampant.
So now you got these kids out here in poo shiesty masks because you have not taught them that they can do something with their hands.
Let me ask y'all a serious question. I grew up in the 90s. Do you think that the men today, or the YNs of today, were worse than the black men that were in the 90s during the gang era and the, and all this, crack epidemic and stuff like that? Because we covered this on this page. Y'all know that, right? The black men.
Well, I wouldn't say it was worse, but I do have to say it's a problem. It's a definitely problem. And it's a problem in other cities more so than others. Down here in the Dallas area, we really keep stuff uptight here now. Don't get me wrong. You can definitely catch yourself on the wrong side of town. Don't get that twisted. But for the most part, we ain't no damn Chirac. We ain't no damn LA, Orange County, Oakland, south side of Oakland, or south side of Chicago. We ain't up to par with that. Or Memphis. They cleaning it up now, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like other cities are dealing with it more so than places like where I'm from or Florida or wherever else. So y'all let me know what y'all think down below.
And boys that were born between 1981 and 2000, I believe, is that millennials? They are responsible for dropping our likelihood of going into prison from 1 to 3 to 1 to 5. You guys remember I told you that? Here's another one from the White House. Nearly 1 in 3 black men have felony convictions. It says 1 in 5, right? This is from the Sentencing Project. New report finds imprisonment rate of black men has fallen by nearly 50% since 2000. According to the 1 in 5 ending racial inequity in incarceration, the imprisonment rate of black men in 2021 declined substantially, falling by almost half, 48%, since 2000. Yet black men were still in prison at 5.5 times the rate of white men. The imprisonment rate of black women declined even more, by 70% since 2000, but black women remained in prison at 1.6 times the rate of white women. For black men, the lifetime risk of imprisonment fell from 1 in 3 for those born in 1981 to 1 in 5 for those born in 2001. Remember, we cited the Prison Policy Organization and also the Sentencing Project, where I literally showed you guys that those millennials are responsible from 1 in 3 to 1 in 5. Remember that? Yeah. So black men, y'all need to be mindful of this stuff. Okay? Stop running around there saying these YNs are terrorizing people. Let me show you just how bad the 90s was. Black men, 1990s, 2,376 per 100,000 in 1990 to 3,000 and 3,098 in 1996 and 3,457 in the year 2000. And then a simple average across decade lands roughly in the 2000s. So about 2,900 to 3,100 per 100,000 people. And this is for the homicide trends. So the annual rate for black males was roughly 40 to 50 per 100,000. And that was at the peak, and then declining to 20s by the late 90s, and then mid 30s around that time. So the averages in the mid 30s. All right. So you guys see that, right? Just remember these figures. 2,900 to 3,100. According to BGS, prisoners in 2022 statistical tables, the overall imprisonment rate for state and federal prisons for all U.S. residents was 355 per 100,000 at the year end 2022. Yeah,
that's significant.
On the website of the Prison Policy Initiative, the imprisonment rate for black persons was 911 per 100,000. What did I just tell you?
Compared to 3,000, yeah, that's significantly lower. And, that makes sense because, if you've been watching my past videos, I saw the statistics that black men were more involved in the household, today, which makes a lot of sense. So
you guys from the 90s, I just told you that 2,900 to 3,100 black people were imprisoned in the 1990s. I am telling you right now, with irrefutable statistics, it is at 911 per 100,000 people. Stop running y'all asses out there spreading this false narrative that these YNs are running rampant. We were worse. Okay? What the hell wrong with y'all? Do your research. I get it. You don't like how these young people dressing and they walking around with these scullies and shit like that. They are not terrorizing the neighborhoods like we terrorize our neighborhoods.
Like I said in the last video, like most of these kids ain't about shit. They probably being annoying as hell, you know, feeling that most, but they not about shit. You know what I'm saying? It's really a small sect of people that's in the hood terrorizing everybody.
Neighborhoods in the 1990s. Hell, you couldn't even walk anywhere in California because everybody was in a gang. Do you understand how they use propaganda, dump it into the black community, and now it's a YN epidemic? It's not. It is a small subset of young black men that are committing all these issues. In the 90s, gang members was 40 years old. So from young, 12 years old to 40, 50 years old, everybody was doing dirt. All right? So I get it, man. Y'all, it seems like it's popular. You make little jokes and, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, yeah, these YNs terrorizing. They not, bro. They are actually, the new generation is responsible for the decrease in our crime rates. I showed y'all the numbers. I'm gonna clip this up and put it on my stats page so I can show you guys the old video that I did where I broke this down. Okay? So I get it. It's a popular term. YNs. We were way worse, bro. And and this is not to diminish that our per 100,000 rate is higher than everybody's. Y'all just heard me. 355 per 100,000 is the average for everybody else. We're at 911. That's still too high. But do not forget, out of the 340 million people living in the United States, you know how many people are in prison right now? A little less than 2 million. Okay? So even if I was to put that to, black men as a whole, bro, that would still be low. But 2 million people across the United States, that tends to shock people when I say that. Because I think they were under the impression that 50% of black men were in jail. A lot of people think that. All right?
I ain't never.
So what are y'all thoughts about that?
That's crazy.
About the YN epidemic? Did I clarify enough?
Crazy.
So we can stop running out there? Not to diminish. Yes, that situation with those young dudes that's doing all the dirt needs to be taken care of, needs to be handled. But context matters, okay? Duh. And you guys can find this on the Prison Policy Initiative. There we go right there. So 911. And then Hispanic, 426 per 100,000 people, and Asian, 71 per 100,000 people. All right. So again, as I stated before, I understand that there is an issue with the imprisonment in the black community, but as I stated before, it's only about 740,000 black people out of the 47.5 million black men, women, and children, boys, girls, whatever, that are actually incarcerated as we speak. 740,000. Okay? And for some odd reason, these numbers aren't cited when people talk about the black community and imprisonment. The number of black fathers, 46%, is never cited when they talk about, black fatherhood. Black men are in the household, the majority. And again, in that area, we are the lowest. All right? But co-residential 100% of the time, 55%. Okay? So that's to stop all this foolery about black men not being in the household. You guys got to watch that. It's a lazy ass argument. They keep trying to throw it out there because they want our eyes to be focused on that when it's not the issue. I already told you guys the issue. It's black women and their mating patterns, their selective mating patterns, the primitive mating standards. Nobody talks about that, okay? 61% of black women have birthed at least one child. 69.3% have had their children out of wedlock. So when I say that, I know people they tense up because I'm putting the emphasis on black women. I'm putting the blame on black women. But if you want things to change, then this is something that you have to focus on. All right? there's a 15% difference between how many kids black women have had and how many black men have had. 15%.
It makes sense because, only 10% of men are really having access to 80% of the women. And that's across the board, whatever race you are. Like, that's just how it goes, right? And, women do. They got to choose better, choose who they lay with better in this regard.
Okay. And then if you look at the marriage statistics, yes, people keep saying black men don't want to get married, right? You guys hear that, right? As of now, 36% of black men are married compared to 29% of black women. But you know what the key factor is in that? That 7% gap is the largest amongst all major racial groups. 7%. That matters. So stop running out there saying that black men don't want to get married. You got to blame black women. You have to put the emphasis on black women. It's about time, man. Because if you don't, things gonna continue the way it is. It's just gonna keep going because they're not thinking that they're doing nothing wrong. And you can just blame Jermaine. That's crazy. We can't do that anymore. If you really care about black women, you care about the black community, then we got to stop this pandering shit. We got to start placing accountability where it is. It's not black fathers. They're in the household. When they are in the households, the kids do better. That's why I put the school statistics out there to explain to you guys that it's not all black children that are having issues with school. You know where that problem usually lies? In the single mother households. Okay? When a man is there, either raising the kids by himself or in a two-parent household, guess what? The black kids function better, they do better in school, less likely to go to jail. So the issue is not black fathers. When they are in the house, we're doing well. Okay? So that's why you need to focus on what black women are doing when they're having all these children at a wedlock. And again, I'll give black women some grace here. They did decrease their birth rates. I don't know if you guys see that. I think it was among the largest decrease over the past couple of years. So hopefully that's, a step forward.
Yeah. As far as that being a good thing, kind of torn in between the two for me, just because, they still going around, sleeping around willy-nilly. And I don't think that's of the benefit for them either. It's much better than having a kid out of wedlock, for sure. Got to say that. But, I think the route that they're going, it ain't, because it's like, who want to marry you at that point? You done slept around with the whole school bus, so.
All right. So, yeah, man, we got to stop this shit, man. You don't care about the black community if you pander to black women, man. Y'all need to understand
100%.
that. And I know sometimes black women ain't used to black men talking like this, but y'all got to smarten up. If somebody is lying to you, and you could do the research for yourself, most educated, then you got to come to the conclusion like, bro, why is he doing this? Why you ain't telling us the truth? What you getting into? Why you not trying to tell us that we need help in this area? They don't love you, okay? You could say the same thing about me if I didn't tell you the truth, okay? Somebody who lies to you don't love you, man. They doing it for profit. Y'all got to smarten up and stop with this, this trying to act like you hurt and shit. Well, what about black men? False. You could blame us for some other shit, okay? But in the fatherhood and parenthood, not that. Not anymore. It has never been an issue. And I told you guys that. When people quote back in the day when the black family was married at a higher rate, and then they'll couple that and say, well, in the 70s, that's when welfare kicked black men out the home. You know what and I told you guys this, the Monahan report children out of wedlock rate.
I'd like to ask you one specific question, which the New York Times quotes you today as saying. You say that 44% of the children in Harlem are illegitimate. Now, how do you know that?
Those are statistics from the New York City Department of Health.
We would kill for that number today. It's 69.3% today. All right? And that's when they considered it a crisis. And when people quote this stuff, well, when we was married at a higher rate, yes, you are absolutely right. That means that black men, black fathers were in the household at a higher rate. And then you fast forward to today, and I'm telling you that even though we're not married at the highest rate that we were, 55%, whether married or cohabitating, 100% of the time, black father in the household. It has never been an issue. It's a lazy ass argument, and the black community has to wake up. Wake the fuck up. Okay? Stop going on everybody's platform talking about fatherhood. That's not the issue. All right? What's wrong? We smarter than this, man. God, y'all got to start paying attention, man. This is lazy ass arguments, bro.
I love how you get frustrated by that shit. You know, it's true. A lot of people really be having lazy ass arguments. They kind of go along and get along with everybody else doing, right? Nah, man, you got to stand on your purpose and really do your research when you see someone talking about something. Steven Crowder, or even, you know, the Charlie Kirks of the world, right? Like, you got to really do your research and see where they're coming from. You know, if you always ask the question why, you'll really get down to the nitty gritty of why they're saying what they're saying. And you can prove them wrong, or you can prove them right, or you can, you know, double check, make sure it's right. I love this dude, Medium Man's channel, because I have to say, he's fair. He's pretty fair compared to a lot of the people that I watch and review on their content. He's pretty fair because he looks at the statistical data. He tries to see if what people are saying is far-fetched, or is it right on par? Is it extreme, or is there a lot of exaggeration? What is it? I love that. Absolutely love that. That's going to be the gist of this video. Leave your thoughts down below. See you on the next one. We go.